to a forum whereby you may be able to ask the candidates questions. We ask that you submit them in written form at the back of the room, and we'll be drawing out of there at the end of their presentation. Each candidate will be allowed 5 minutes to speak on anything that they feel like you need to know about them and what makes them important for you to vote for them. This is probably one of the most important elections that Oak Island has had in many, many years. The whole country, not just this one, is in dire straits. And I would encourage all of you to get your neighbors out. Do whatever you can to tell them and stress on them that it is critical that they vote. Unfortunately, last night the town council made a ruling that surprised me. They decided in their infinite wisdom that they would no longer allow transmission of these forums on Channel 8, even though we've had a precedent for doing so. So they would also not allow us to use their equipment. That's fine. We have plenty of audio and visual equipment, as you can see here. We are continuing to tape them. We have already taped the senior ones that were there last Thursday night. And as soon as this is over, and the one tomorrow night is for the mayors, we'll be editing them, putting them on DVDs, and all you have to do is call me at 278-9494, and we will deliver you a DVD personally at your home. To be here. It's really, really important. Each candidate tonight will be allowed 5 minutes to speak, like I said, on any question, anything that they want to speak on. We have as a moderator Blair Harmon, who was the mayor of St. James at the same time I was mayor of Oak Island. So we have a lot in common. We both understand the government and how important it is to the people. I'd like especially tonight to give thanks to David Doyle, Loman Scott, Richard Bunce, Betty Wallace, and Charlie Jackson. They brought in the audio and the video, and Charlie's our timekeeper, and he's good at it, believe me. So without further ado, and there are seats up here if you'd like to come up. We're sorry about the capacity. It just seems to be that people do want to know and do want to hear and see these people. So welcome tonight, and believe me, meet them afterward, gather with them, and discuss with them anything that you feel important. Tom Johnson wasn't here this evening. Betty Wallace has agreed to interview him with the same questions that you heard tonight. She will edit them and insert them in the proper place so that he will also have a fair chance. And we'll get that out just as soon as she can interview him and get those questions to him. But we certainly don't want to leave him out as a part of this. Thank you. And I'll turn it over now to Blair.
Call the first.
Just go ahead and introduce.
Okay. Introduce. We have Jim Medlin, Richard Fortner, Betty Thorne, Reese Simmons,
Bill Johnson.
Bill Johnson, I'm sorry, and Dara Royal. They have chosen tabs to figure out which order to speak in. We have one person missing, and that was number 5. So we'll start with number 1, and we'll start with number 1. So when the first person, when number 1 is ready to start, feel free, and Charlie will start the time.
I wish it was a lottery. Before we get started, Tom Johnson called me a couple hours ago. He's in Wilmington right now, welcoming into the world his new grandbaby. We're lucky to have been here, but family comes first, as we all know. Funny thing happened on the way to the forum. I was running a little late, went out in the garage to get my truck. My keys are locked in it right now, so I'm in my Jeep, my folders in my truck. This is going to be off the cuff, believe me. Could be worse. I'm Reese Simmons, running for Town Council of Island. I was a council member from 2003 to 2007. Before that, I was on the Board of Adjustments, and I just got off the stint as chairman of the Planning Board. It ended this past summer. I'm from Alamance County, North Carolina, Hall River. Retired from Alamance Community College after 20-some odd years of teaching. Came here to retire. I love it here, plan to stay here for a long time. some of the main issues that I believe we're going to be faced with over the next several years, one of which is the economy. Sooner or later, it's got to come around. I think it's that one over there. Yeah, just turn that one on.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. The economy has got us right now in pretty much in a bind. We had started some capital projects up to 3, 4, 5 years ago when the economy didn't look near as bad as it does now. As it got worse, it seems like as a town we kept going in that spending spree of capital projects. I wish we could have slowed that down in the last year or 2 years. It hasn't seemed to happen. We're going to have to do something with that. Eventually, we've got to pay the bills, and they're coming due. So grab your pocketbook and watch out. Another major issue that we have facing us right now is our sewer system. It's behind right now. It's causing a deficiency in revenues that should be generated from that system already for several months. We're going to be faced with some payments on that system coming up soon that we just don't have the money for. We're going to have to find it somewhere, and I don't know, we might end up having to borrow it. That's akin to paying your mortgage with a credit card. You're not going to get anywhere doing that. So we've got that problem to face pretty soon. Another issue that I'm very concerned about is the annexation that's been going on. Won't be long before you can walk to Bowling Springs from Oak Island. Of course, they'll be adjoined to each other. It won't be a very long walk. Now, that might not sound too bad of a thing right now, but I envision years down the road, we have thousands of acres of undeveloped land. Look what happened out around Leland when Brunswick Forest sprung out of the ground overnight and doubled the size of Leland. Right now, an election held in Leland, the people in Brunswick Forest probably have controlling factor in that vote. Now, that won't happen here in the next year or two, but sooner or later it could happen. Yeah, I think it will happen. We could become a minority here on the island, the residents here of the island. People say it'll never happen on Oak Island. It just couldn't happen here. Well, wasn't that many years ago we could go over to Carolina Beach and ride the main drag and look between the houses and see the ocean. I haven't seen the ocean there in years. Or some of our neighbors south of the state line, those quaint little beach towns down there years ago. They've all been swallowed up. And now this is walls of high-rises to block the view of the ocean. Don't tell me it can't happen to Oak Island. If you open the door big enough, a truck will drive through. It'll come in. And if we expand large enough, development can and will happen and make the island a minor factor in the town. I just don't want to see that happen. I plan to stay here a long time, and I don't want that to happen. Some things that I'm concerned about, and I want to try to control. And if you'll help me November 3rd, I think we can do some good in that respect. Thank you.